Hi, I'd like to play a song. It's a really, really special song. It's called Leela, and it was written by a gentleman that was a sadhu in India. It was a person from the United States, and he was traveling around in India, and it's based on a Nepalese fiddle tune, and it's a really beautiful song he wrote about life, and it's called Leela, the game of life. And what I'd like to share really quickly, it comes from the Vedas, and the word Leela means the game of life. And it's actually a game that the people in India played for centuries. It's a very old game. It was the way that they taught their children the Vedas. You know, the Vedas were in India in the East. They broke up the qualities of personality and spirituality into elements. And then you put these elements, these pure qualities, together to create what we call personality or life. In the West, we made the periodic table of elements. We broke up the physical world into elements, and then when you combine them, you make, what's the physical universe. So you put the different elements together, like H2O is hydrogen and oxygen, which are elements, and it makes water. And so it was the building blocks of the physical world. Well, they did the same thing with the internal world and the personality qualities, like selfless action, or jealousy, or greed, or all different types of good and bad qualities that are really pure. And they came up with 72 actually elements. There's 108 or so, and maybe even a couple more now in the periodic elements for the physical world. So they had 72 qualities, and many of them aren't even translatable into English. They're kind of, you have to read a whole page, because there's no word in the English language. You have to read a whole page to know what that Sanskrit word is. And they made a game out of it, and it had snakes and arrows. And so when you landed on something that was a really good quality, it would lift you up, an arrow. And when you landed on something that was a negative quality personality, it was a snake and it took you down. Like martyrdom was the biggest snake. It took you way from very up high, way down to number 2 or something like that, I think. And you entered the game at Maya, which was square number 6, which means illusion. So you kind of enter the world into illusion. I thought that was kind of interesting. And square 64 is kind of cosmic consciousness, is a rough translation, or enlightenment. But you can overshoot it. You can go up to 72, and there were all these words that aren't translatable into English that went past it. And the big snake was martyrdom, was I forget which square, but it's above enlightenment. Like, so sometimes you meet people that have a real high quality where they really seem high vibration, but they're kind of a martyr, and they could be overshot it in the sense. And then the biggest snake, they have to come down below illusion to be born again and go through the cycle. And the idea was that you'd have one object that you would, and you'd have one dice, like a die they call it, and you'd roll that, and you'd move around the board, and you'd land on spots and read about it, and you'd learn about the qualities of human nature and human consciousness. So it was kind of a fun game, the game of Leela, and it was to teach the children spiritual aspects of things, and to see that there are patterns that happen, and that there are things that would lift you up and take you down, and cycles that would happen until you got to a place of enlightenment. And it's a beautiful game, and it's a beautiful metaphor. And so this sadhu wrote a song about that with a Nepalese fiddle tune. It's called Leela, and that's where it came from. This life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win. The game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this life is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. In the eyes of the baby, behold everything from under. The eyes of the young man beholds his lady's face in wonder. The eyes of the old man look upon the flowing river. What of those whose eyes are one? They leave this wheel not go where sound remains forever. Oh, Leela, Leela, this life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, the game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this life is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. And how can one accept life who has not accepted dying? How can one achieve their purpose without ever trying? And how can one have courage who cannot as well be tender? They who win the game are they who are learning to surrender. Leela, Leela, this life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, the game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this life is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. This life is just a game. Winners lose and losers win, the game is still the same. Leela, Leela, this life is just a play. Those who say don't know, and those who know don't say. And where's the brother who in his heart can really feel it? Now can he feel it in himself, and then can he reveal it? And let him sit and sing until his heart grows gladder. Chant to God until the masquerade